Welcome to the program today. It's my privilege to introduce our guest today. The title of these DVDs is called The Elite Speak. My guest spent some 3 years working on the Alaska pipeline as the chaplain and met some of the ruling elite, and they have told him many things that they have planned. As far as we know, we haven't been able to find anything that he has missed on in terms of what the elite plan for the future. So, Lindsey Williams, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Stan, for allowing me to be in your studio today. Just a matter of hours ago, an 87-year-old elitist said to me, "Chaplain, tell them everything. I'm too old to care." Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do today. You will hear things you've never heard from me before. You're going to see inserts visually into this presentation that we have never given before. You've never seen me produce anything like this before. You see, some people go to many different things to try to talk about the future. Everyone seems to want to know what's going to happen tomorrow. Well, some people go to fortune tellers. Others try tea leaves. Other people might go to the zodiac or reading palms. Well, you're not going to get any of that today. You're going to get it from the people who are doing it. The elite themselves, whom I've had the privilege of knowing now for about 35 years. And during this period of time, I've kept in touch with a few of these people, and everything they've ever told me has come to pass exactly like they say it, because they are the ones that do it. So today you're not going to be consulting something from out there, but you're going to be hearing directly from the people who rule the world.
Take just a moment and tell us how you got involved with being a chaplain on the pipeline and involved with the ruling elite.
I was a missionary in the state of Alaska, aviation missionary. They said they were going to begin building the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline. 25,000 of the roughest, toughest, cussedest, drinkingest, honoringest folks on the face of the earth to converge on my state. And the first thing that came to my mind was 25,000 of those people, they must need some spiritual guidance. Well, that was the understatement of the year. So I went to Alaska Pipeline Service Company, the consortium of 9 major oil companies that were going to build that 800-mile, 4-foot diameter pipe, largest pipe ever constructed on the face of the earth for the carrying of crude oil. And I said, "Don't you need a chaplain on the pipeline?" They said, "We don't know what to do with you. We never had a chaplain on a pipeline before." I said, "No problem. Give me a chance." Well, persistence paid off. I kept going back and back. Finally, they said, "Okay, we'll give you the northern 7 work camps, including the huge new oil field up at Prudhoe Bay, America's oil field, northern Alaska, on the Arctic Ocean." And I did. About 9 months after my arriving on the pipeline, the oil companies came to me and said, "Chaplain, we can't believe how much good you're doing for us. You're saving us thousands of dollars of counseling fees we aren't having to pay. We'd like to offer you executive status in an advisory capacity in order to help the relationship between management and labor." And I said, "Well, what does that mean?" They said, "Well, go any place you'd like. We'll give you your own truck, write your own airline tickets when you want to go somewhere. And we would like to invite you to sit in on our board meetings in an advisory capacity."
Wow.
I had not the slightest idea what I was getting into. For 3 years' time, I literally sat, as you and I are sitting right now, across the table from each other, with the elite of the world, the people you hear about in the World Bank, the IMF, the people who rule nations and control currencies. And I had an opportunity to talk with them one-on-one, not as a pastor to a church member, but as a person on their pipeline. And for 3 years' time, I analyzed these people. I'd like to say, if I may, emphatically, and hope that I can somehow help those in the viewing audience to realize how positive I am in saying this. There positively is a group of people on the face of the earth who control the world. I don't know how to say this any more positively than for you to understand. I lived with them. I knew them. And I've kept in touch with some of them. Now,
And they're not all bad people, are they?
no, positively not.
And they don't all have evil intentions all of the time, do they?
Well, if so, this man would not be giving me the information he was giving me. So they do have their moral code, which is quite different than yours and mine. But yet, on the other hand, if you were walking down the street and saw one of these people, you wouldn't recognize them from anyone else. Of course, they might have on a suit and tie, but they would be the ordinary person that you would easily know who they are.
But they emphatically are in charge.
Oh, they positively are in charge. They know exactly what they're doing, and they control governments. They tell the president what to do. They dictate to Congress what bills to pass. They control the currencies of the world. They have put the world into the state it's in today. They have established the New World Order. I could go on and on and on with
They are in charge.
Oh, they are totally in charge. They know everything they're doing, and it's planned well in advance.
Is this a group of 2 or 3 people, 200 or 300 people, or 2,000 or 3,000 people? Do you have any idea how many people are a member of this elite ruling class?
If you took the very top, you would probably begin with maybe a dozen people who know everything that's going on and make all of the rules. Then it would go down to a little bit bigger group, like the Bilderbergers, or maybe the Council of Foreign Relations or the Trilateral Commission. Then you would spread it out to larger groups like the media and others, who would, and each group would know less than the others did at the very top. But the ruling elite probably no more than maybe a dozen people.
So the people you were talking with were more of the ruling elite, the top 10, 12, 15 people then?
Yes.
Ooh, wow.
And
you know, people give their eye teeth to have that.
Well, I consider it to be the providence of God. So let me just give the Lord the praise and the glory right now.
Amen.
I believe that the Lord put me amongst this elite for a short period of time and allowed me for the past 35 years to keep in touch with some of these people in order that I might be able to be here in this studio today to let you know what you can expect for the next 12 months in order that you might prepare your dinner table in your household.
Are these ruling elite, they have families, they live a lifestyle that is typical, or is it very lavish? Do they live in castles? Are they typical people? Tell us a little bit about them.
They fly their jets. They live their lifestyle. They don't live the way you and I live necessarily. They are of the upper crust. But you wouldn't know one of them from anyone else if you were walking down the street. Let me give you just an idea of the immensity of the project of the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline. And at this point, we're going to insert a section that was made during the construction of the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline, just to give you an idea of the controlling power of these elite to do things such as this project. In fact, the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline was the biggest project ever undertaken by private enterprise in the history of the world. $12 billion was spent in 3 years' time. Now, keep in mind that 35 years ago, $12 billion would be multi-billions today, and the elite did it. So here at this point, you'll get an idea of the immensity of some of the things that the elite do. You and I, yes, we might buy an automobile or a house. The elite perform projects of this immensity.
The PYS is for, P is for Prudhoe, Y is for the yellow band, and S is for Somioso. We started with 10,001. We have 15,500 to do. So our last pipe will be 25,500.
About half of the sections were welded together indoors at the pipe storage yards, turning 40-foot sections into 80-foot sections. Altogether, more than 80,000 sections of pipe were cleaned, numbered, and coated to prevent corrosion in the Arctic climate.
People sometimes ask why it isn't going faster. It's like painting a house. It takes a long time to prepare the surface, but it doesn't take long to actually paint it.